Hello everyone and welcome back to TwoSun Tuesday. Today I'm taking a look at the TS127, or at least that's what it was called when I purchased it. There's been a few variants, so this is now referred to as the TS127-Crude, just due to basically the handle style kind of thing going on there. They have another one, it has a bit of a different G10 texture on it called the TS127 Fine. And there's also one that has mostly orange and a little bit of a black G10, and that usually comes in M390 steel, but there has been some that have been others, like, 14C28N, like this is. But anyway, yeah, this is the TS127. This is Wong design, and it's one heck of an EDC. It's fairly large. I'm not going to lie to you there. Like me with my XL hands. So, let's kind of take a little peek-see there. And, yeah, it's basically like right around like 3.6, 3.7 inch blade on there. Which for some people is fairly large. For me, I appreciate that sort of thing though. We got a little jimped flipper tab up here, a little notch out here, but that's mostly just for the aesthetics of the oval thing there. But that oval thing really makes it easy for Spidey-flicking. Some people do dig their fingernails into something to deploy it. My fingernails have always been trash, so that just destroys them. So I use kind of the meat right under that, and yeah, that always works for me. So hey, your mileage may vary, whatever, but that's how I deploy my Spidey flicks. This guy's got quite the interesting drop pointy, but looks like clip pointy kind of thing going on there. A nice arc on the blade. And what makes this really nice and EDC friendly is that the tip actually comes down to quite a thin stock going on there. We have a very, very thin edge, or the blade is very, very thin right behind the edge, should I say. So this thing is a slicing beast. Very, very comfortable as well. Fairly neutral. You got that just standard curve there outside of the single finger there, but you do have some sharp crenellations, so pretty close to jimping there. For your thumb, it's just amazing purchase on there. It's locked in. There's basically nothing that could happen to have me kind of let go of this thing. It's fantastic. It is fairly thick, as you can see. We got the black and white layers of G10 there, and a G10 backspacer that's got, those full crenellations as well. That allows you to get a decent reverse hammer grip if that's something that you're into. Yeah, like as far as I understand, just for, prosperity and whatnot. That's probably not the word I'm looking for. Anyway, this would be a hammer grip, like you're gripping a hammer. And if you have your thumb kind of out here on the spine or at the tip, that's more or less like a saber grip, which is kind of like if you're have your hand in the basket of a saber. You generally use that a little bit. So there you go. That's why you can do a reverse hammer grip, which almost kind of looks like a reverse saber. Yeah, it's nice and confusing. Whatever. It just matters on how you hold the knife and if you think it's comfortable or not. Anyway, enough of that. We got a liner here. We don't really have too much in the way of a scallop out of it or anything, but it is rounded off, so it's very, very comfortable and easy to close. No problems there whatsoever. And we got a lanyard, oval in this case, not necessarily just a hole for, all your lanyard needs there. We got their deep carry clip, which, it does have the button screws that stick out. That's still a thing that they're dealing with today, but What I do have to say is that these clips are quite stout compared to some of them. Like I'd taken a look at the Civivi Elementum recently. And that's kind of something that's always bothered me a little bit about Civivi's clips is they're fairly thin, so they feel like they're not quite up to the task of something, whereas these guys certainly do. But yeah, all right, yeah, you can also deploy that with your thumb if you'd like to. But yeah, the milling and everything on this. Let's see if I can't. There you go. If you get it the right way, and it kind of looks like crops as you're driving past. If you've ever been on some lovely road trips or whatnot. But yeah, offers one heck of amount of gription. Sure, I'll use that word. I don't really think it's a word, but some other people like Nick Shabazz have used it, so we'll go with it. Offers a lot of friction, but it's not really tough and feels like it's going to tear your hands up. It just offers you a lot of nice grip. So yeah, there's that. We can take a look on the inside of them. Nothing super crazy different going on inside, but yeah, it's certainly worth a look-see. Especially for the people who just stumble across this channel, kind of curious in one particular knife and something came up for it, rather than follow me week to week. Apparently the arm of my chair is liking to squeak. I don't know if that's being picked up on the microphone there. Yep, we did have a D-shape, or not a D-shape pivot, and I did have to apply quite a bit of pressure with my finger there because I've added a bit of Loctite there myself. So that was kind of my doing. I didn't really have a problem disassembling this at first. So there you go. Yep, we just got standard G10 scales underneath there. Nothing super special about it. We do have skeletonized liners. Kind of creative in the areas that are skeletonized there, but very effective. And then, yeah, we got their standard ceramic bearings in the nylon cages. Work rather well. We got the reverse detent track to make it just a little smoother when you're closing it. And here's the blade stop pin, which fairly stout on this guy, which is nice. I always like to see that. And it's not located on the blade itself. It's right there between the liners. Now it does have this little hole kind of thing, as you can see on both sides here. That's not used on this one. I do believe it is used on the on one of the variants of it, though. I don't remember if it's the fine variant or whatnot, but they'll have a screw that can go into there to help attach some G10 or whatnot. And then, yeah, we got the good old G10 backspacer here. Both of them are fully encapsulated. Sometimes on, not a whole lot on G10, but sometimes on their titanium ones, one of these guys will have kind of an opening at the bottom there because it's not just fully in there. But this one is. So yeah, very, very simplistic on the inside. Works out quite well. The action on it, you know, super nice. It's not super crazy drop shunny on me. And, yeah, depending on your preference, that's either great or not so great. For me, works damn well. And, you know, if something isn't supremely drop shunny, it's actually kind of safer for me. So I kind of like that myself. But yeah, very, very simple to take apart and clean, do whatever you need to do there. Something I should also point out is because the blade stop pin is yeah, it is, and the tip over here, because that's not internal to the blade itself, the liners do come out all the way. There's not a cutout in there. I personally like that. I've said it probably a million times on the channel, because it prevents or helps from getting stuff inside there, which is already a problem on bearing knives to begin with, but having kind of that opening there also kind of exacerbates it a little bit. And I've done it again. Yes, I've done it again. There's that bearing that I just decided, nah, I probably don't need to do that. I don't need that in there. It's baffling to me. You know, I'm not nervous on camera or anything, but this is the only time that I ever really forget to deal with that. Like when I'm just playing around and maintaining my knives and everything on my own, I have no problem remembering that. But here we are. Oh well, no worse for wear, I suppose. This is generally one of the reasons why I do like to assemble them with the blade in the open position, so the liner isn't kind of forcing the liner and the scale back up, in case you were curious about that particular thing. It's also why I originally kind of got a little thrown off with the Civivi Elementum, because of basically that same kind of thing going on there, where you need to assemble that with it in the closed position rather than the open position. But yeah, let's try this again. Also something that I always say, but all of the hardware on TwoSuns are T8, with very, very few exceptions. So that also helps with the whole disassembly and assembly process, as you're not worrying about destroying either your T6 head or the hardware itself, which is even worse. Yeah. So we're smooth, we're just a little too tight. Nice. Yep, so if you don't forget to put the bearings in there, then this thing is quite nice to and easy and whatnot to take apart, put back together, all that good stuff. Yeah. So that's the Wong 127. We can go ahead and do some other measurements going on here. We got the length on there. How about if I do, we'll start with blade stock thickness on this guy. And he's basically 3.7. I wiggled it a little bit as I pulled him off. But yeah, 3.65 to 3.7. So that's actually a little bit on the thinner side for a lot of TwoSuns. A lot of them start... anywhere between 3.7 and like 4 millimeters for their blade stock thickness on there. So that is a little bit on the thinner side for them, which, you know, helps with the slicing and all that sort of stuff. And having that distal taper, which, you know, starts thick here and ends up much thinner out at the blade tip. That also helps with slicing, especially out at the tip there. However, yeah, we are in the area of thick town when it comes to the handle, and that's because it's, you know, it's thick G10 and it's fully contoured on the top and bottom there. Makes it very comfortable, but, you know, comes in almost 0.7 of an inch, which is a little bit more than the average of like 0.55 that I've end up seeing in most of the knives that I got. So what I would end up saying is that for someone with larger hands who's just looking for a fairly inexpensive EDC sort of thing for them that's got quite a long and large blade, this thing is absolutely fantastic for it. This clip is certainly better than their original black one there, and it does disappear fairly decently in the hands. It is nice and polished there, a little bit more of a scallop sort of thing going on, a lot like Spyderco's clips, so it is decently comfortable and not super pokey whenever it is kind of in your hands there. And yeah, this thing is just ready to go to work. I don't think I mentioned at the top of it, but it will probably say in the title of the video and the description and everything. But yeah, this is it's a little faded there, but 14C 28N steel. Jeez, yeah, there we go. There's some nice light for it. Which I think I've only touched on probably a couple of them so far for these TwoSun reviews. However, the vast majority of their knives are in this steel these days, as they've kind of moved away from D2 for most. Absolutely not all of them. There's the 208 that just recently came out, and those are in D2. But that's a little bit different kind of, well, at least they're new to me. I don't know necessarily if they had been released before or whatnot, but yeah, whatever. This is the TS127, good old Wong design. He's one of my favorite designers from them. He always seems to cater to those of us with larger hands, which it's actually kind of interesting. I mean, TwoSun in general does do that. And, a lot of their different designers kind of do pay attention to that sort of thing. Night Morning, Wong, obviously, Jelly Jerry, that sort of thing, where they do actually make a lot of things for folks with larger hands. It's something that I tend to find a little bit more difficult in a lot of other Chinese designed or Chinese and other East Asian knife designers don't really do, because they don't, for the most part, have these giant mitts. So you end up with like a finger choil that for them works as a fantastic finger choil, but for those of us with larger hands, that's it's a cute gesture at a sharpening choil, but if you were to try to put your finger in there, you're gonna lop half of it off. So yeah, but Wong in general makes me the happiest with how he ends up dealing with varying different hand sizes. And yeah, that's one of the many reasons why I've been so interested in the company and a lot of the different designs that they got going on. But all right, yep, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo.